Okay, there's a bit of a thing today. I'm about to ruin the image you have of me and what you think I am as a gardener. I'm also about to confuse you because basically I think today's video is the most important lesson you guys will ever learn as a gardener, the number one. But I'll also in a few weeks be putting another video out that's making a claim that that'll be the number one thing you have to learn. But today it's this. This is the number one thing I think you have to learn as a gardener. And I've got jobs to do that are going to let you see exactly why it's important. So join me, and we're going to start right there. So this is what we call the poly. And for those of you who have poly or polythene greenhouses, you're getting excited just now. It technically is that. I mean, it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't designed to be that. This is actually the cover that goes in our veg truck. But we use it every single year for when we're hardening off plants. Things coming out the greenhouse, spend a wee bit of time in here before they go into the garden. And it's that gradual acclimatisation. But I'm going to bring you in because there's also a small problem with them being in here. And it's basically, I have a tendency to forget about them when they're in here. And they then spend far too long in small pots and they don't get watered as much as they should. So firstly, you end up with these incredible leggy plants because they're not getting enough light. They're covered by other plants. They fight to get to the light. And then you see all this purple? Yeah, it's not happy. Now, purple on your leaves sometimes means it's because they're too cold. Because when it's too cold, the little root system and everything doesn't work and it can't take up nutrients. But it's also lots of purple because I haven't been watering them enough and that's bone dry. And if they're too dry, they can't take up all the nutrients either. So generally, elongated, long and purple is not a good sign. Yeah, I think I only just caught this plant before it died. Now, it's not the only poorly little creature in here. Oh, I'm almost embarrassed to show you these. Look. Just, really, how light it is. It really needs watered. There's 3 plants in this pot. They should have been moved on a month ago. Oh, look, and there's aphids on them as well. Joy. Because if you've got poorly plants, that's where the aphids go. So one of the jobs for today, I could just say, oh, they're all rubbish and I'll just bin them because they're never going to be to their full glory. So this is the bed of requirement. It has kind of appeared and been around and stuff in videos. I've never really talked about it other than on the Patreon videos I do. But essentially, Kate built me a spare planter for those days when I've got plants that have no homes. I was planning to put all my broad beans here, but one nasty frost killed all but one. So I've changed my mind. All those little plants that I've been abusing, I'm just going to put them in here. And here's the thing. They will never be as good as they could have been if I had looked after them properly. Never. But bedding requirement, it's not a big deal. We've not got a planned planting structure. So I'm going to put those little guys in here. It's beautiful, amended, gorgeous compost that's in here. And that'll kind of revive them a bit. And at least they'll get to grow for this season, flower a little bit, and they'll give us some pleasure. And the thing is, it's like calendulas and things. They're perennials in our garden, so they'll come back next year. And if I want, I can dig them up and move them next year. But they'll be live plants that will do their best next year. And that's one of the things. Sometimes you have to make a call and go, it's not worth it. That's a loss. Those plants go in the compost bin. And sometimes you go, yeah, I know, they look awful. Could have done better. But you know, gardening's not about stress. So that's just one. Oh, sorry, were you under the impression that was it? No, I'm abusing lots of plants this year for my own laziness. Before I can get going though, there are heaps of my little bidens have self-seeded in this bed, and I want to save as many as I can. I won't save them all, but I'll take huge chunks like this and I'll plant them. So many plants that are pretty much on death's door. So here we go. In the interest of keeping this a bit chill, nothing fancy going on here, I'm literally going to just plonk them in, give them a damn good water, and then we will let Mother Nature take care of them, because let's be honest, she's a way better gardener than me. Funny thing is, these are bidens. So as you can see, we all do it. Sometimes you just abuse your plants. You don't mean to, but life gets in the way. There we go. Admit it, you thought everyone that has a YouTube channel about gardening was Alan Titchmarsh, didn't you? When in reality, we're just like you. Oh yeah, there's more. So you know how I'm always telling you guys how important it is? Keep potting up your little plants into bigger pots so they keep getting the nutrition and space they need. Again, I just haven't been, so I need to get that done. Yeah. Okay, I've got a selection going here. I've got broccoli with a K. So do you remember the tender stem I grew last year? This is a similar idea. It's another little hybrid plant. Sorry, I've just seen an aphid. It's another little hybrid plant that's kind of like a Chinese kale / broccoli, sprouting broccoli hybrid. So he's been in this pot a while and it's probably just no nutrition and stuff left. So I'm going to have a look. I might put it in the same pot but with fresh potting mix, or I might pot him up. And same with this guy. These are a second lot of these sowings, but as you can see there's multiples in these tiny little pots. They need their own pots. This is just how lazy I've been this year. These, so, don't know if I've got a good one to show you. So these are specifically designed for the whole green stock growing thing. The idea being each one of these is a tier of your green stock. However, I think the thing with these is the company's American and it's looking at how you might do things if you were over there. Where at this time of year in some places, it can still be far too cold to think about growing plants. So people tend to start a bit later with their plants. And then their little plants that are like this size, whatever, they can just plant out when it's time. Because our season is super short, we try to get things going a bit faster and get them to be a bit bigger before we put them out. So I'm finding these aren't working for me really. Things are just getting dry too fast because the plants are getting big in them, and yeah, so I'm looking around here and their stuff's going to have to be potted up, even though theoretically it looks like it might still be small enough. There's multiples in each little tray here, but I just want to get them into some proper sized pots, decent amount of compost that doesn't have supremely good drainage like these do. And that's the thing, supremely good. Too good for me. Can't be trusted. And then these are my little tomatoes that are going to go out. So they've got about 3 weeks left in these pots, or 3 weeks left before I plant them out into the green stalks. So I'm just going to put them up a pot to keep them going, because I don't want them ending up overly poorly. So yeah, I've just been a really bad plant mum this year. And it's my usual potting mix. Now, we've had a visitor this week, which was really interesting, having another gardener visit the garden and just hearing how he was speaking about things and stuff we were talking about and comparing. And we got to talking about potting mix and the difference between potting mix and what I call container mixes for the stuff that's in the garden, in like the big pots and stuff. And it made me wonder, do you guys know the difference? Or when you keep asking me about potting mix, is that what you mean? Are you asking me about container mix? So let me know in the comments, because I'll do a video on my container mix if you want. Right, same as usual. Let gravity help. Oh, this one's quite intertwined. There are actually 4 plants in there, look. Oh, that's a pollen, Eli. So again, so these are my little broccoli, little hybrid. And he's going in the green stock again. I'm going to run out of space now because I'm going to have more pots. Hey-ho. Multiple little guys. Now, these are another new one on me. Pam, where I bought my green stalks from, Pam is from Grow Towers, and she's the one that sent me this tray as a gift. But when she saw me growing the tender stem broccoli, she got excited and it was exactly what she needed. So she got seeds and started growing it. But she sent me this because she thought, aha, this is like a cauliflower version. So you get lots of little tiny cauliflower florets that are almost like posies of flowers rather than big cauliflowers. So she thought I might like to try it. And she was right. So this is going to be an interesting one. And again, I need to just decide on how I'm going to do this, because what size of pot do they need? Sometimes you just can't be sure till you open it up and see the root system. And it's actually way better than I thought it would be. So you get a nice big pot. Get yourself sorted, little guy. There we go. So I can't tell you what these are called because I think they were in Swedish. But I'll put details in a pinned comment under the video for you. Okay, let me get cleared up and I'll take you into the greenhouse to see just how much of a bad plant mum I am in there too. The greenhouse, it's a bit dark in here because I've got the shades down, which I've learned over the last few years is super important, because if I don't have the shades down, I get sun scorch that ruins my pepper crop. It's only started happening recently. Never used to have it, but I've learned that lesson now and I'm doing my best. But no, that's not what I'm talking about today. So come and join me. So like every year, my greenhouse is a greenhouse of 2 sides. This side, as always, is the tomatoes. Now, this is not something I've done wrong, but this is something I want you to see, because YouTube and Instagram, generally the internet, is full of people worrying just now about can they put their tomatoes out. The thing is, I've grown mine in the greenhouse, so they've just grown in here all the way through since I think early March maybe, and yeah, so they're fine in here, they're totally okay. We will get some cold nights, and you do have to make decisions on these things, but it's not so cold that it's going to kill them. At the worst, if you put plants in your greenhouse at this time of year around my area, the worst that's going to happen is it will stunt them a bit. And that's what I want to talk about next, because as you can see, my peppers are in the greenhouse. Now, I am not going to tell you that it's time to put your peppers out into the greenhouse if you've been growing them indoors. If you sowed them and grew them in your greenhouse, they will be fine. But if you're bringing in little babies that have been grown indoors, they're probably going to sulk quite a bit. So I'm not going to give you that advice. It's a case of do as I tell you, not as I do. But it's not going to kill them. Even those cold nights we're still getting, it's not going to kill them. At worst, it might stunt them. So I've made that decision. And that's the thing. That is the lesson for today. It is. You have to make decisions about your plants in your garden based on your knowledge of your plants and garden. But also, that number one lesson I told you that today was about, it's this. Unless you are homesteading and trying to feed your family, or you have a market garden or a small farm holding, that kind of thing, where you're actually trying to earn a living from it, you need to keep in mind your garden's your happy place. This is where you come to chill, relax, and gardening is a hobby. So sometimes you need to just ease up on yourself. Stop comparing yourself to people online, because trust me, what you've seen today isn't as bad as it is, because you're looking through a camera. You will never see the detail of things. So you're holding yourself against an unrealistic expectation. Plants die. Plants get poorly. You will forget to water, to feed. You'll plant it in the wrong place, not enough light, the wrong soil. Things won't germinate. And trust me, I've had more not germination than germination this year. But that's not why we do it. We do it to give ourselves a place to chill. And on the whole, things will be fabulous. So be kind to yourself, everybody. Chill out. And I've had a visitor in the garden this week reminding me of all these things. And as he would say, enjoy gardening. Or as I would say, see you next time, folks. And I'm going to take you through setting up the quad grows. See ya.